Well, I was gonna say, how are you finding it in your smart home now, Darren? Like with all the stuff you're doing. I know you said you moved at some point to the second home.
Yeah, so I run it on a Pi 5. So I don't use a green. I use a green more to show people like, oh, this is the green. I use it as like a
Yeah.
physical like, oh, this is um runs fine. I have a server behind me, which is behind the 3D printer, which runs like
Yeah.
Frigate and stuff. Frigate has been like a massive game changer in terms of like how because before Frigate I was using Zomeminder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Minder. Yeah.
Is that right? God,
Yeah.
that
Sounds familiar.
was terrible. I mean, reliability was terrible. Like I couldn't get it working
Yeah.
at all reliably. Then I moved to running Blue Iris in a VM. That was better.
Yeah.
Um, and then Frigate is like what controls some of my automations now because it has the Coral TPU. So if I've got a camera in the garage, and as soon as I walk in the garage, it turns my Zigbee light on if there's a person in that place. That's how I control my light in the garage. Like I don't have to, because the light switch is on the other side of the garage. You go in the door, have to walk over to get the light switch. But if you stand there, like if the door opens, there's a door sensor. If you open the door, the light always comes on after sunset. And as long as there's someone in the room, the light will stay on. And then when the door is closed and there's no one in there, it will turn the light off after a few seconds. So like there's no motion sensors. It's all this like the local person detection.
I will say, like, that's one of the cool features of the Real-Link cameras too. Like now they've got the AI on board the cameras. You can have like a binary sensor exposed from your doorbell or from a camera, and it will go into Home Assistant and be like, yes, there is a person in this picture right now.
Yeah, the only problem I've got with the Real-Link one, I've got the 8K one, picked it up a few months ago. It's in Frigate, but I don't think Frigate can handle the 8K streams. I have to downscale it. But I'm just being quite stingent, I think maybe is the word. I don't like using it on board. Like my philosophy is like I buy a camera for how the lens looks and how the camera looks, but I always I turn off all the features and feed it into Frigate. So then Frigate does all of the work. But I might have to start like using it to get the onboard Real-Link stuff going because, for example, Frigate can now do license plate recognition. And so there's a car in the drive and it has this license plate. And that'd be really cool because it could say if I'm home, then it might do something. So yeah. But Real-Link are our Works for Home Assistant partner. I remember Robert testing Robert tests all the doorbells, and he tested all like the Real-Link stuff, and all the stuff that gets exposed into Home Assistant is incredible. Like it's so good. The integration with Home Assistant Real-Link is like the go-to, I'd say, in my opinion, to get a camera. Usually, though, if I'm doing like a small camera, I only have one indoor camera now because we have a puppy. We always turn the camera off when there's people in the house, though.
Yeah,
but when we're not here, we use like the Wise ones, and then I flash it with custom firmware because Wise had a security incident a few years ago or something.
Well, they locked out RTSP and they did like a bunch.
They locked that out as well, yeah. But it's really easy to flash them. You can put Thingio on them or Defang, I think, is another project. But I like them because they're quite reliable and they look quite good, especially in low light.
Do you worry about by using Frigate, like as having that as a single point of failure though? Like
it does fail. Frigate it does something because it looks like my cameras are unreliable, but then if I like watch the RTSP stream of the camera directly, it's stable as hell. But Frigate, I could be because I'm running it on like an old server or something, so I'm not going to say too much about it because I think it is my server can't keep up. It's running like a maxed out, really old server in a VM. So I'm going to get one of those minis forums, MSO1, I think, soon to run it on. So I see what you're saying. I need an NVR at the end of the day. So you need to store it somewhere. I'd be interested to hear like what alternatives there are. So do you guys record it on camera or how?
Yeah, so I've got a few of the Real-Link 4K cameras and the doorbell. And I think, except for the doorbell, I don't know if the doorbell, I don't remember if I put one in there, but the cameras have an SD card slot on device. So they just record events to the SD card. And then for 24/7 recording, actually at the moment I have a Unify gateway that has like the Unify Protect app running, and then it can record, just take the streams of the Real-Link cameras straight into the Protect app.
Yeah, because it can do third party now, I think, right?
Yeah, it can do third party cameras via RTSP. And then you could get like a Real-Link NVR, or I could pipe it into, like, I've got a Synology NAS that's got something called Surveillance Station. I could use my NAS storage for that. But I'm trying to shut down my NAS at night because it's, a power hog. So yeah, I'm realistically, like, do I need the 24/7 recording? Or probably not. Like, the events and the AI detection on the camera is pretty decent.
So do you think the events will pick up everything? Like, especially at nighttime, you can't really rely on events for, like, especially if it's like animal, person, or car detection. Car detection maybe, or person, but like sometimes there's things that happen. Like, for example, something might happen at night that won't get picked up by an event, but you can definitely see a cat there or something, or you can definitely see something's going on, but like an event won't pick it up because it's like almost noise. But I run 4 cameras in Frigate, 24/7 recording. I think I get like a week's worth on each.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, I've certainly had like situations where I've seen like an animal on one camera, like that camera has been detected, and then it will go to a different camera's point of view, but the camera won't have detected the animal there. Like, I think I've had a fox walk through our yard, right, and it picked it up on one camera and then not on another camera. But the people detection has been great, and I've now got that hooked up.
Because you can actually do classification now, right?
Yeah. So the Real-Link camera does people, motion, and animal, and vehicle as well. So you can, if vehicle's moving across, or it comes in the driveway, you can have an event in Home Assistant. There's an entity exposed that vehicle detected goes true, and then you can trigger it like a snapshot from Home Assistant if you wanted to.
Yeah, I did have one, and this might be just because the Frigate models aren't quite tuned, but like I do have a lot of false positives. It does say like percentage of like person, but like a lot of false positives, like my dog's in the garden, but it's like, oh, it's a cat. I was like, well, it's not, because I want to have like if there's a dog in the garden, then keep the outside lights on because it's probably doing some business, But then like
I've heard that the paid models, apparently, I don't use Frigate, but I've heard that they have paid models, and those models are actually way more accurate, like with like a percentage of like margin of like way more.
I need to check out. I do pay for it. I've linked it up, but maybe I need to do something else to get them other models working. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.